Everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to present to your group today. As Judy said, I've been with the university for a little over 7 years. My entire career has been spent in the real estate industry, working for originally private developers. I was president of the Downtown City Redevelopment Corporation, Civic San Diego, for 7 years, working on urban revitalization projects, affordable and homeless housing, public infrastructure, and many public-private partnership projects. Spent a few years in the consulting industry with JLL, a global real estate consulting and brokerage firm, and then came to the university in 2015. So it has been the best job in my entire career. I thought I was going to be bored, but that has not come to fruition at all. It has been a very exciting 7 years. So I have lots to present to you today that only scratches the surface of things that are happening at the university. So I'll just start with a couple of slides that just sort of give you an overview, and you probably know a lot of this since you're so well connected with the university, but these are just a few of the drivers for all of the physical improvements that you will see happening at the university today and over the next decade and beyond. The student enrollment growth has been growing every single year. The number of applicants has been breaking records every single year. I don't have the data updated yet for 2022, but I know that it was another record-breaking year for enrollment and applications. And that trend is expected to continue. We are one of the growth campuses identified by the Board of Regents because we do still have land available for future development. And then also research growth and funding from a variety of funding sources, both public and private, have continued to grow every year, spawning the need for more research space and hiring of additional faculty and staff. So just to highlight some of the housing that has been developed. So we will become the largest residential university campus in North America next year when Theater District Living and Learning Neighborhood comes online. That'll be 2,000 more beds. Over the last few years, we opened North Mesa graduate student housing with 3,500 plus beds, and North Torrey Pines Living and Learning Neighborhood with 2,000 beds. The chancellor's goal is to have at least 65% of our undergrad students being able to live on campus. And all the surveys have shown that a vast majority of students would like to live on campus if there were housing available. The next project that will be coming online is Pepper Canyon West. That started construction in June. That'll be 1,300 beds for upper division students and transfer students. That's located right next to the new main campus trolley station. The next college or housing development that's in planning is Marshall College. That'll be 2,000 more beds, indicated by number 5 on the map. And then Pepper Canyon East will probably be the next site in line to redevelop that older housing with higher density housing next to the trolley station. And that hasn't begun any planning yet. And then just like the students, faculty and staff are also having a very difficult time finding places to live near campus. If they can even afford it, there are waiting lists, 20, 30 people in line for every vacant unit. So even if they have the ability to afford it, it's sort of a lottery system to get in. So we have plans to build nearly 4,000 faculty staff rental housing units between the La Jolla and Hillcrest campus, as well as other sites that we're attempting to acquire along the blue line of the trolley, so that faculty and staff will have a place to live where they may not need to have a car, and know that they won't have to be driving 60 miles or more to work each day. So Theater District, I'm sure you've seen the buildings coming out of the ground. This will be 2,000 new undergrad beds, some academic space. There will be dining. We'll have a 19,000 square foot public market and food hall. They'll be operated by a very well-renowned food hall operator. There'll also be a signature restaurant of about 4,000 square feet, full service restaurant right across the street from the La Jolla Playhouse to create a great dining experience for patrons before and after performances. And 4 levels of below grade parking. So it'll be increasing the number of parking stalls by at least 300 from what was there when it was a surface parking lot. And Pepper Canyon West, again, located right at the main campus trolley station, under construction now, 1,300 beds for upper division and transfer students with about 6,000 square feet of retail right along Rupertus, as well as a coffee shop cafe over on the southern side facing the VA Medical Center. And just another angle of Pepper Canyon West with the retail on the ground floor. Above the retail will be student study spaces and collaboration spaces. The Marshall District Living and Learning Neighborhood is in early planning stages. You can see a massing study there, what it could look like, 2,000 more beds, classroom and academic space. And then for our non-housing programs, there have been a lot of projects that have recently been completed. The main campus trolley station and the Blue Line connection, that was a $2 billion public investment by Sandag and MTS, connecting the campus to all points south and east in the county. Hopefully you've all had a chance to visit the new amphitheater. The Epstein Family Amphitheater just had its opening event with the San Diego Symphony performing. That'll be programmed with hundreds of events, both ticketed and non-ticketed throughout the year, some for the public, some just for students. Franklin Antonio Hall, part of the School of Engineering, was recently completed and is now open up at the far north end of campus. TRITON Center has not yet been formally approved, but is expected to be complete in 2025. That'll be sort of a new heart and soul of the campus, and I've got a special slide on that coming up. The chancellor just gave approval to move forward on a new campus multidisciplinary research building that'll be on the School of Medicine campus to be completed by fall of 2026. And under construction, as you may have seen on La Jolla Village Drive and Villa La Jolla, where the old Rock Bottom Brewery restaurant used to be, is a new public-private partnership building under construction. They'll be completed late next year, and that'll be partially occupied by the Division of Extended Studies and partially by Health Sciences for dry lab research. The Torrey Pines Fire Station has just broken ground by the city on the university property, which we conveyed to the city last month. That's on former tennis courts, or one former tennis court up at the northwest end of campus. And the Marine Conservation Technology facility renovations were completed early this year. Breaking ground very soon will be the Viterbi Vision Research Center and the Shiley Eye Center renovation. That was from a generous donation from the Viterbi family. And then finally, we recently selected our development partner to develop the balance of the Science Research Park with 850,000 square feet of additional tech and life science research space that'll be happening in a couple of phases over the next 10 years. So just to give you some imagery rendering here, where you can see the main campus light rail station, the brand new design and innovation building, the Epstein Family Amphitheater, and to the right, that will be where the new Pepper Canyon West housing and retail will be developed, completed in 2024. Rupertus Walk is now open, has the beautiful new piece of the Stewart art collection along the paving. So from what I understand from Sandag, ridership on the new Blue Line is exceeding all expectations. So faculty, staff, and students are definitely using it, as well as visitors coming to campus that may have never come before. This is the latest rendering of TRITON Center. You can see it's very much a multi-purpose complex, again, to be sort of the heart and soul of the university next to the Price Center, with student health and wellness, global education, a new art gallery, several retail spaces, alumni center, and transfer student center. And this is an image of the 8980 Villa La Jolla project that's under construction right now. 110,000 square feet with 4 levels of parking, 2 below grade and 2 above. The latest renderings for the Viterbi Vision Research Center. I believe this is about a 80,000 square foot facility. Here's the location of the new Torrey Pines Fire Station. This was a public-public partnership between the university and the city. The university provided the city with $20.5 million to design and construct the new fire station. In exchange, the city agreed to equip and operate the fire station for at least 50 years. This will provide very much needed new fire and life safety service in an area that the city had deemed was very low response times compared to national standards. So this will make the entire campus as well as the whole surrounding community much safer. Moving over to East Campus, the Science Research Park. So the Regents adopted the development concept for the research park way back in 2002. It's a 30-acre park. To date, it has 2 tenants, the La Jolla Institute for Allergy and Immunology and the Center for Novel Therapeutics, dedicated to cancer immunotherapy research. There's 850,000 square feet of remaining development potential, and we'll be going to the Regents in 2 weeks seeking approval to execute that development agreement with the selected developer. The tenants will all need to have an affiliation with the university in some way, whether it's collaborative research, funding of research, hiring of students for internships, or hopefully all the above. Bringing private industry to campus is very, very important for future research funding and kind of enhancing a lot of the research that's done, giving students an experiential opportunity to work along the benches and labs with researchers in private industry. You'll also have technology incubators and accelerators, and the developer has pledged at least $5 million of early stage venture capital funding to incubate some of the new research. Looking around the campus, campus planning is working on an adaptive traffic signal program where the campus will invest, I believe it's somewhere between $6 and $8 million to create synchronized traffic signals all around the major arterials around campus to improve traffic flow. And then moving up to North County, back in 2018, the campus acquired a site in Rancho Bernardo right off the 15 freeway for a new integrated hub for health. This would become one of 3 regional hubs within the county, sort of a one-stop shop for all services. There wouldn't be any surgeries happening here, but basically all of the types of imaging and testing that a patient would need without having to travel down to the La Jolla area for those services. So we're in the developer selection process right now, and the plan is for this building to be open by mid-2026. Moving back to La Jolla, one of the sites that we've identified for faculty staff housing is along the eastern edge of East Mesa housing community along Regents Road. So we have a several acre site available there where we will be selecting a development partner to build somewhere around 1,600 rental housing units of all different sizes and types, studios, 1s, 2s, and 3 bedrooms. All the amenities that you would find in a modern urban rental community. We are striving to have these units priced at the lower end of market and a cap on annual rent increases to avoid situations that we've had recently with double-digit rent increases throughout San Diego County. The project would also become sort of the urban village for the entire East Mesa housing. So it would have 50 to 70,000 square feet of retail, small format grocer, and all the services that the graduate students and the faculty and staff and East Campus workers will need to make life convenient for them. I'll also be doing some improvements to what's called the Arboleda at East Mesa housing, which is the big grove of trees in the middle that sort of act as the central park and open space for the housing. And this project will probably be delivered in a few phases with that many units, with estimated delivery of the first phase possibly as soon as late 2026. You may have seen in the media that we recently closed escrow on a unique opportunity downtown to acquire a small 87-unit brand new apartment complex in East Village, 2 blocks from 2 different Blue Line stations of the trolley. Because it was brand new, no tenants had lived in there yet. So we bought it right from the developer, all brand new appliances, furniture. The units are fully furnished. They are all micro units, so very small studios ranging from 317 to 500 square feet. But they've got the Murphy bed systems that fold up into a sofa when the Murphy bed is not being used, robotic closet systems that can create more space when the tenant doesn't need to be in the closet. All kinds of generous community spaces, a rooftop lounge and barbecue area, co-working space, secure bike lockers. It does not have any on-site parking, so this is truly meant for sort of short-term tenancy. We have put a maximum residency right now of 2 years. We may lift that if we find that that there's not enough demand for these units, but so far people seem to be very interested, at least living here for a short period of time and as transitional housing. Moving to the Hillcrest campus, you're likely aware of the massive redevelopment plan that is on the horizon there. Construction is underway on phase 1, which is a new outpatient pavilion and cancer center, 1,800 stall parking structure, and lots of infrastructure improvements, new roadways, connections, utility plants, all types of infrastructure to support the future development there. Ultimately, there will be a new hospital developed in the 3rd phase. It will be equal to or greater than the number of beds in the current hospital. And health is just begin the planning and design of that new hospital next year. Once that new hospital is open, which it needs to be by 2030 to meet state seismic requirements, then the old hospital will come down and be replaced with a 3.5-acre open space park and more faculty and staff housing. And these are some images of the new outpatient pavilion that's under construction right now. And this is sort of a bird's eye rendering of what the entire campus could look like upon full completion. The red boxes indicate where new faculty staff housing will go, be developed in 2 phases on the west side of campus. And then in the lower portion of the rendering, that is where the future wellness center with housing, 3 or 4 levels of housing on top will go. The wellness center is envisioned to be open to both patients of health as well as faculty and staff, as well as the entire community. Our vision is for it to be operated potentially by a nonprofit like a YMCA that would have a sliding scale of membership dues based upon family household incomes. This Housing will again be all different varieties and sizes and types of units, below grade parking, some on-site retail for the neighborhood, and again, the 3.5 acre open space between the housing and the medical clinical uses to create a space for staff and patients and their families to go out and get some fresh air. And just another close-up bird's eye view. And I mentioned earlier that we are also looking for strategic opportunities to acquire properties that are in very close walking distance of Blue Line trolley stations between campus and all the way down to the border. We are currently in escrow on a site that could provide an opportunity for up to 1,000 more faculty staff housing units, classroom space for Division of Extended Studies, some office and some retail with parking for faculty and staff. So it would be a 10-minute ride or less up to campus. And then finally, downtown, you are probably all aware of the new Division of Extended Studies hub that opened in March of this year at Park and Market, 66,000 square foot new facility with a cafe on the ground floor. I've been to a couple of lectures there already, one on Diego Garcia and other artists of Mexico, and it was fascinating. So the digital gym is on the second floor, which hosts art house films and foreign films from around the world every night. So it's really a great hub. Lots of partners there. The San Diego Workforce Partnership has space in there, and the regional EDC will be moving in January. Lots of arts and civic conferences planned, program for the inside space as well as the outside amphitheater space. And that concludes my presentation, and happy to answer any questions.
Wow, that was really fascinating, and I'm kind of in shock. And a lot of us are, because there's so much happening. It's unbelievable. You're living with it every day, but an enormous amount of that was news to me. So I'm sure everyone appreciated that very much.
We every year we have to provide to Office of the President our capital financial plan, looking out. I think it looks out 5 years of projects that will be coming to the regions for approval. And our campus had triple the dollar volume of projects than the next closest campus. We have $6 billion of development coming to the regions for approval in the next 5 years. And that does not even include the new hospital for Hillcrest.
So six billion that has not come before the regions yet.
Right.
So that's included in all the plans that you just showed us?
Yes.
So that all of the stuff that's been shown hasn't been approved by the regions yet then?
Well, I presented some projects that are already complete, but all the projects that, so like the Science Research Park, Marshall College housing, those have not come to the regions yet, but some of those have already.
Wow. Well, that was really interesting. And I think a lot of us will probably want to watch the recording again, just to take it all in and pause and get oriented. So I'm sure there'll be some good questions for you. I have one in the chat, and then I will look at the whole gallery and see if anyone is waiting to say something. Nancy Grove says, is the Regents Road site north of La Jolla Village Drive, or does it replace La Jolla del Sol?
Yes, it's north of La Jolla Village Drive. If you happen to know where Regents Pizza is and the Starbucks at that office complex across from East Mesa Housing, it's right there on Regents Road.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to look at the gallery. Anybody? Well, actually,
Kim has a hand up.
Kim, Senior A Par, you want to? Yeah, you're on.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. I contacted you last May and you said you were available. So I'm really glad that this worked out. So
Me too.
I have a question about the Retirement Association and Maritime Association with the housing for retirees. Is that still included in any of the plans?
It's not in any of the formal plans that I presented today, or that are to go to the regions in the near future. But I am still in close contact with Cecil Lytle and the leaders of that working group. And so I was just talking about that, the Regent's Pizza building and where the Starbucks is. So that property was acquired 3 years ago by a company called Welltower. And they are a medical office and senior housing developer and operator. In fact, they're the largest senior housing operator in the country. And so I'm scheduling a meeting with Cecil and a few others from that group for late November, hopefully, to talk about whether that site could become a possible UC San Diego faculty and staff retirement housing facility, because health is working with Welltower to expand their footprint on that site. So there could be integrated wellness services for the residents of the facility. And then Welltower could build, a whole spectrum of housing. They do everything from independent living through skilled nursing and memory care. So it could be a great fit. So we're kind of still in the exploratory stages, but we're hoping that could get legs and go forward.
That's nice. Then I have another question of things that have been talked about. The International Center, which as you came on, I think either was in the process of coming down or in some stage of that. But this group is very connected to that space. We helped build it, actually. Oceanids helped raise the money and build it. And so what's going on with, I saw global education in the TRITON Center. So is that where the International Center will be?
I don't know. That's not in real estate's wheelhouse. So probably someone, maybe Robert Clausen from campus planning. I'll bet he would know. But I'm not sure. I haven't seen it, anything on any planning maps that I've been in meetings on.
Well, what is the definition of who keeps the definition of global education? Where does that fall? Or you don't know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
That's
I don't really mean to put you on the spot, but it's kind of, we've been waiting for this.
Oh.
I have a question about, I saw something that was outlined in yellow next to the campus, which is the Black Horse Farms houses. You didn't mention anything. I can't remember if that's actually university property or not. And do you have plans for that?
Yes, it's outlined in yellow because it is within the boundaries of the property that's owned by UC. So I think that there's 30 years, excuse me, remaining on the ground lease. So there's, because the ground lease still has 30 more years on it, there's nothing contemplated right now for
okay.
like that. Yeah. Still a long ways out.
We have a question in the chat from Rosemary Straley. How does UCSD development plan compare with others in the UC system?
I can only speak in terms of dollars. So the $6 billion that we have in our capital financial plan is, let's see, I have it here on my phone, the chart, the graph. I should have put it in my slide deck. The next closest campus to the amount of development that we have planned is Berkeley at, looks like about 2.6 billion. And then San Francisco is third at about 1.8 billion. So we by far have the tallest graph bar chart.
Wow.
Yeah. We just, so I think it's just a combination of, we're one of the few campuses that still has land remaining. That we've just been so successful in attracting research grant funding from a variety of sources, NIH and private donors, that it's just create an opportunity for a lot of development. Plus, just the housing crisis in San Diego has just made housing priorities 1, 2, and 3 right now for students, faculty, and staff.
Is the 65% goal of housing students, that many students on campus, is that in line with any of the other campuses, or is it because La Jolla real estate is so expensive, this is something that you have to do here? I know some of the other campuses are in nice neighborhoods too, like the UCLA one and others, but is 65% very high?
I believe all the other campuses are either at or striving for around the same goal. I think UCLA, like you said, UCLA is pretty tough. They don't have any land left to develop more housing and acquiring housing around there. In talking to their real estate director, it's really tough to make student housing pencil around UCLA. So I don't know. Some campuses like Riverside, Merced, they don't have the housing challenges like we do in San Diego.
I just have one other question. So for the homes that are along the trolley lines that UCSD would purchase, how would they become available then? Would there be a certain number allotted to faculty to use for recruitment, or would it be a lottery system, or how does it work? How's it going to work?
So the way that we did it for framework, and we're going to, this is sort of a test project. So if things work well at framework, which is the new apartment building downtown, we'll probably apply the same philosophy to the future development projects, housing projects. So we allocated 50% of the units to faculty, 50% to staff, and staff includes both campus and health employees. And if the units are oversubscribed, then it goes to a lottery system within each of those two groups, within faculty and within the staff group. But a VC can elevate or prioritize a faculty or staff member who is critical for recruitment or retention on that priority system so that they get the next unit available.
A VC, that means venture capital to me, is what.
A vice chancellor.
Oh, thank you. Do we have other questions? If I can't see you, you can unmute and just go ahead.
Judy, if no one's going to say something, I just looked up the organizational chart for global education, and it looks pretty much like the organizational chart for what we knew in the International Center. So we can probably follow up on that to see what the plans are. So that's it's pretty much the same structure.
Well, our next month's sounding board speaker is Professor Chip Schooley, who was head of the whole international program. I don't know if he still is.
He's still listed on the org chart as being in charge.
So we can ask him as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, okay, if there are no further questions right now, I really want to thank you for a very interesting talk. And I'm just thrilled that the university is doing so well and making such a presence. And I'm sure that you're also going to handle fitting into the rest of the La Jolla community in San Diego. And making everybody happy. Lots of parking and all the other issues that they all have.
We all wish we had more parking.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you
very much.
Thank you
for
so
coming.
much. I really
Thank
enjoyed
you.
meeting each of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.